Hello, 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 YouTube family. I am jumping on today to share with you a little bit about what's been going on with the wedding. So here's the cute bling. Now we gotta talk about the wedding. So for starters, I am meeting with a photographer tomorrow. I have been emailing back and forth with a couple different venues, and let me just tell you, I don't know if I even want to bother with that portion anymore because it's ridiculous. There are so many rules and regulations and nonsense that you have to deal with if you don't go with like something that is practically free. It's ridiculous. I've considered reaching out to like my local county and trying to maybe rent out a park or something at this point, just because it's like, are you kidding me? So we'll see. Wow, crazy cat. She's like high tonight. This is Tiny Kitty, in case anybody wants to know. She is a hoot. But okay, anyway, wedding. The budget is not very large, so we're trying to kind of be particular about where we spend, how we spend, and what our priorities are. For me, the priority is a photographer because I am a photographer. So there's like certain little aspects that I'm like, okay, if we don't have the right photographer, I don't know if I can trust anybody else. So that's a super mega priority for me. Today we were supposed to go to a sale for wedding decor, and apparently it was like canceled. No notice online, no nothing. Like, I guess they just decided, since the event wasn't getting enough vendors to come and sell things, that they just canceled it or just decided not to have it and left no warning. But I've been excited about this whole thing for like a month and a half, and then we drove all the way out there and there was nothing. And I was so devastated. So we ended up just going to a sale at another place called the Five and Dime sale at a place called Alyssa's. It's like really close to my house. It's like an antique store. And they had a bunch of little things that you could just buy for 5 and 10 cents. And that's super cool. And I ended up finding some things that I can use at the wedding for that. I am a mega thrifter. So my whole wedding is going to be so DIY'd. It's ridiculous. But I'm hoping that it can really kind of dull down on the costs. There are a lot of things that I really want for this wedding, and there are some things that I'm just like, do I really need it? Like, do I really? So the first thing that I was like tempted to cut out was actually the booze. Of all the things that I was considering cutting out, I was like, can we just make sure that I have a wine bottle in my room, and we should be good, right? So that was one of the first things that I considered tossing out. But I was finally convinced, no, that's not a good idea, just tough it out. That's something that you should probably stick with. So we've discussed doing like charcuterie boards. I think that's how you pronounce it. Cross my fingers. And then we'll have, just like cold cuts, and we'll have cheeses and olives and fruits and veggies and just little bitty things for people to nibble on. But we'll do like one board per table so that there's plenty for everybody to snack on and nibble on and eat on, because most of the time at receptions you don't have time to eat a full meal. You just don't. It's not very much fun. You either eat and you're full and you don't want to dance, or you don't eat because you were dancing for so long and then you've been drinking, so now you're kind of extra tipsy because you didn't eat anything, and all that food goes to waste. So I am hoping that the charcuterie boards work out a little bit better. But turns out most venues require you to have a caterer. So this is where my dilemma is. Cross my fingers, hope and pray that all works out. Y'all, I swear I should have closed the door. All the animals are in here. Okay, all better. So with all of the things that have to do with wedding, it just gets to be so overwhelming. So if you're at a point where you feel like maybe you don't want to do the status quo, it's okay. There are other ways around it. I can speak so far from experience that I know that I will find another solution, because I have found solutions to all my other problems so far, this far. I do have a dress. That was probably one of my first purchases that I made, which is kind of crazy because most brides, it takes a little bit longer. But I knew that it would take extra long to get the dress in if I went to like a boutique and I picked one that was like hung there on the rack and they would have to order it. So I knew that that was going to be something that I'd have to deal with. I was super thrilled because dress and veil are all under $1,500. That is like a dream come true. So that means that the thing that I actually had to pay for myself to start out with wasn't that bad. And so I'm just super thrilled about that. When it comes in, of course, I'll have a fitting. They'll have to probably hem the front of it at the very least, just because I am a little bit shorter. Cross my fingers, maybe I can find some heels that I don't have to cut too much material off of it. But it's very simple, it's very elegant, and I know that my fiance is going to just love it. It's not quite what I was originally planning on getting, and I think that's a good thing. I think that's a really, really good thing because it fits more along the lines of the kind of person that I am. As much as I love to decorate and I love to design, I am a rather simple person. Like, I do like things more clean and organized and neat, even though I love to decorate. But decorations are different than like clutter and things that don't make sense together. You know, at least when you're decorating, you have matching colors and like a kind of scheme of things that go together. That's kind of more me. And I really feel like this radiates my personality, and I'm excited to have everybody else see it, not just me. I guess for the most part, that's kind of it for wedding things. I mean, if you have any questions, feel free, you know, to drop your comments down below. I'd love to answer questions for you. If you have suggestions or things that you would like to hear me talk about, I am hoping to be able to post a few DIYs that I do over the course of planning my wedding. We're shooting for November-ish. If it turns out that we decide to book a venue and they're all booked up for November, we'll bump it up to October or we'll bump it back to December. I don't care. I'm not very particular about dates. I think for the most part, if it's an odd numbered month, I'd love for it to be an odd numbered day. If it's an even numbered month, I'd love for it to be an even numbered day. I know that's kind of like weird, but I'd love for that. I've even said, you know, if I have to get married on a Thursday, I don't really care. Thursday sounds fine to me. Then I get to leave for my honeymoon on Friday, and I get a whole weekend plus a whole nother weekend, which means that my honeymoon could be a little bit longer than most people's, so I'm okay with that. That's something that we've talked about too a lot, is the honeymoon. Like, what do we really want for our honeymoon? I would love to go to Europe. I would love to go like on just a tour of Ireland or Scotland or something like that. I would love to kind of go in the direction of like heritage. I'd love to learn a little bit about my heritage and where my family came from. But Ken's very, let's go to the beach, let's have a beer in my hand on the sand, you know, that's kind of his thing. And I love that idea, and that sounds really nice, but I'm like, can we maybe go to Greece to do that? Like, I've never been a super duper beach goer. He's a super beach goer, so it's kind of, that's where we kind of are at odds with each other a little bit. We've discussed, I know that I don't really like cruises, but we did discuss because he talked about going and renting a yacht. And I was like, wow, you're trying to get all fancy. So I was like, okay, well maybe we can go on a cruise to kind of compromise, still get us on a boat, but we can go like on a European cruise and go over to Europe, and I can still go check out places that I want to go, and him still get satisfied with that. And then, you know, at least we get our food covered for the most part for most of the travel and things like that, and it just kind of covers a little bit more than us trying to fork out $5,000 to $10,000 for us to go and have like a super big trip over to Europe or over to the Mediterranean or just something like that that would cater to both of us. So just trying to get creative, think a little bit differently than what other people do, trying to cater to what our budget says and what will really work for us. So I've been doing so much financial saving research type things because in the long run, I'd love to be able to give my parents back at least a third of what they helped cover the wedding. We've talked about doing a backyard thing at my grandparents', in which case they'd have to order or call up somebody or rent something to come out and clear out the majority of the property because so much stuff has grown up back there since I was a kid, because my grandparents, you know, they're older and they haven't been able to maintain it like you would if you were 20 years old and can go out and just keep things tidy. That's just life. So crazy wedding things. I've kind of started rambling. I hope you guys still enjoyed for the most part. I hope I can hop on and share a bunch of my DIY stuff with you guys super soon. And I know that I am kind of behind on like everything. Like everything is behind right now, but I'm getting started. It's still happening. Life is still going on. Oh, we had engagement photos. I think I mentioned that. I don't know. We had engagement photos. I won a free engagement shoot with Focus Photography. They were fantastic. I felt bad because my hair was dreadful. Like, I curled it, and within 60 seconds of me taking the curlers out of my hair in the car, I get out and my hair is flat. Like, it was big curly, flat, just like this almost. And I was so disappointed, and I felt so bad for the photographer because they were just tough out of luck, you know? My hair just fell flat and it basically ruined the majority of the pictures, but they did a phenomenal job. Everything looked gorgeous. They made me feel confident. I'm a little bit over the top when I pick out my outfits, so I wore like this gorgeous, long, almost formal dress, and Ken was in a sweater with khakis, and it was really lovely. But I was really nervous because I was like, okay, this dress is kind of over the top, so how can I make it work? And they did a phenomenal job at making sure that it worked because we were in a downtown type setting. I didn't want it to kind of seem weird, and it was my hometown, so it was a very sentimental photo shoot for Ken and I because we both love where we grew up. This is our hometown. This is what we're passionate about. We're kind of getting involved in the politics around here, so it's just something spectacular for the both of us. And if you haven't had a chance to check out Focus Photography, they're wonderful. They're so sweet. Hop online, check them out. PHOS, whatever. It starts with a PH, not an F. There you go. That's all that matters. Anyway, thanks so much for stopping in. Go ahead and give this video a like if you enjoyed getting to hear about the wedding stuff. If you would like to hear more about the wedding stuff, go ahead and hit the like button as well. If you want to hear more about me and other things in my life, along with Ken and the pets, and maybe our adventures too, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because there will be so much more to come. And maybe share it with a friend. We would appreciate that. I would love to have more people come over and join my big family because I do love to love on everybody. That is what is most important to me, loving on people. So come over, share it with a friend. We'll pretend like we gave them a hug because that's kind of what it feels like every time I have someone new join our group. It's phenomenal. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for stopping in. Much love, you guys. Bye.